Hey, Joe here, proud first reseller. Got some controllers to test here, and something to talk to you about. I've never really wanted to expand my business here since I started my eBay business 5 or 6 years ago now. I really like being at home. I like being available. And it was similar to when my wife and I had our food carts, and we were really happy where we were at. But something came up then, a few years ago, when we first decided to open our restaurant location. And something very similar has happened to me right now, and I wanted to kind of share it with you. So this week, a property came up for sale, a house, and it's on our street. And got me thinking, our family's growing, and so is my business. So the kids are needing more space, and so is my business. And this house only has 3 bedrooms, and we're doing a lot. We're doing a lot of this space, right? We're doing this whole eBay business out of our house. We're homeschooling the kids, all that stuff, right? And the kids, like I said, they're getting older, they're getting bigger. They're all sharing a bedroom right now, because I've taken over one of the 3 bedrooms for the business here. So it's just something to think about. We have thought about what we would do if the kids ever did want to have their own space. And it's not an easy problem to solve. And there is a storage unit facility just, a mile away from here, maybe not even, maybe less, right? It's so convenient. But at the same time, I don't want to be working in a storage facility. I don't want to be shuttling back and forth. I want to be able to work and process and receive my inventory out of a single space. I realize how convenient that is, like a warehouse. To be able to have everything all in one is really something that I want to replicate. And I'm thinking, if we were able to get a second property, a literal second house, is this a stupid idea? I don't know. Please let me tell me in the comments. Oh, this one's going crazy. Disconnecting. That's definitely a bad one. I don't know. Has anyone ever? I wonder if you've heard of anyone who's done this before, and what you'd think about it, and what advice you would offer. I'm considering. Essentially, if we were, I don't even know if we're financially in the position to make an offer on this exact house that is on our street, but I'm sure another one will come up for sale, especially on our street. I'm just thinking, I'm thinking it through in my head, and the ability to come home for lunch, and of course, and then just to be able to walk to work and be able to receive inventory at the other garage, or maybe I would just leave the business at this location and we would move the family into a different one. I don't know, it's got me thinking so much. I think I just threw a bad one into the good location. Let me double check myself. Yeah, this one's got stick drift. Not stick drift, just the right stick is completely off to the side. So that's gonna go in my bad pile there. Make sure I'm putting everything in the correct piles. And this one as well. So yeah, let me know what you think about it. As I'm playing around with it in my head, it seems really enticing. It seems so much better than investing in it, because it's not as much of an investment if you were to get a commercial, or if I was to get a small commercial warehouse, unless I was buying the property, buying the warehouse, or buying property and building a warehouse on it. What we do essentially with this property, what we could do with that one as well, is we own the property personally, but then our business pays us rent to us, my wife and I personally, for the portion of the house that it uses. And the business would just be paying for our rent. I just want to make sure that I'm putting the good ones with the good ones, the bad ones with the bad ones. Hopefully I am. I don't know if I trust my testing anymore. As I'm chatting here, my mind is just going so many different directions right now. So I appreciate y'all listening. And if you do have any comments, please let me know. Yeah, so essentially what we're thinking is if we were to buy another house, and then either move the business into that one, but it would be a house that would be walkable, so the kids could come over and say hi, I could come over and say hi. We're still close, but I'd also have my own space. And then if it was a house, we could maybe save a couple of the bedrooms and let them be convertible. Oh, this button's way off, so it's definitely going straight to the bad section. I got a bad pile and a good pile so far. If we were to buy a property like this, like a residential property, then maybe the business would only rent out a portion of it, and we could leave 2 bedrooms reserved for guests, and then be able to have guests here, because we're just maxed out in this house. We don't have room for people to come stay here at our property. I mean, we can host, but we can't have people come stay the night necessarily with that. I mean, like, we could have little kids. I guess that sounds weird. Oh my God. We're not hosting little kids. I'm just saying there's just not a lot of extra beds. There's not a lot of extra space in this house. Oh, this one's wiggling a lot. Sometimes that jitter goes away. No, that's pretty extreme. Too bad. So yeah, please do let me know. Is this a horrible idea? I'm playing around in my head, and it's enticing. It would be a big chunk of money. I mean, I think the house was listed for like mid 300,000s, and maybe we could offer 320 or something. It's still going to be, upwards of $3,000 a month in expenses. But that would allow me to maybe, again, have employees, people that could be working and processing some of the stuff in the background. I did enjoy having a couple of employees that were really focused, but a large amount of employees was hard. But I don't know. I also just like just keeping it small. It's just the family. I don't necessarily want to expand, but I do want to get more out of my time, and I do have a great source of inventory. And buying a property is an investment, right? You're actually buying the property versus just paying the rent of a storage unit or a warehouse or something. So it's more my style. Seems more like an investment. I don't know. Is this a stupid idea? I don't know. I'm out of controllers. I'm out of thoughts. Thanks for joining me. Talk to you guys later. Peace.